This is Comic Fix by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason. Well, what's going on and what do you have for us today in terms of reviews?
Well, it finally happened. We're finally talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin 2. And hey, because we can have good things, Myron is here. Hey, Myron.
How's it going, Jason? How you doing, John? Glad to be
Um,
here.
Doing
glad,
good.
glad, to, glad to have you, man. It's like, and hey, it's like so, and because hey, we couldn't do like another Last Ronin like podcast without bringing you along, because well, it's like I remember it was like everyone remembers like the first Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. This is a story that was based on on this is a story that Kevin creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird came up with like back in the day that was finally put into practice like for a 5 issue miniseries like co-written by Tom Waltz and also featuring art from Is- Isaac and Isao Escorza and Ben Bishop with Eastman pitching in here and there as well. It basically told the story of like the last surviving Ninja Turtle who was like here to save what remains of New York and its from its fascist takeover by the last surviving last leader of the Foot Clan, Hiroto Todoroku. It's like, and it's basically kind of like like a Dark Knight Returns style night. It's basically a very grim, very dark, like take on the material and showing you like basically the last adventure, like for these characters or for this character, the last Ronin who turned out to be Michelangelo. I was not like much of a fan of this because I honestly felt it was kind of like bit too grim compared to like what I usually like seeing in my Ninja Turtles stories. And it's like, and also I didn't think it had like a really strong villain like in it's like in Hiroto as well. It's just kind of like your average, just it's like like annoying little fascist kid who didn't like really make much of an impression otherwise. But I don't know. It's like I thought it was like all right, but Myron, it's like I believe you thought differently.
Yeah, and it's been a while since we had this conversation, but I do remember really liking The Last Ronin. I kind of I do see your point about it being a little bit too grim, but I did feel like it was a nice kind of gritty way to kind of wrap up like the Hamato and Oroku clans kind of beef, kind of coming into full circle of how like, the turtles were trained their whole lives to not only to learn ninjutsu and protect the innocent, but then also to carry out the legacy of the Hamato clan and to defend against the Foot clan when that time came. And so I do remember really enjoying The Last Ronin. I remember after reading it, I bought a NECA figure of Michelangelo, Last Ronin Michelangelo. And then, of course, like when The Lost Years came out, I remember picking up that book and reading that because I was kind of compelled to see what Michelangelo did during that time after losing his brothers. And it was a very different concept for that character who, all of us who grew up with the Ninja Turtles cartoon kind of know him as being the lighthearted jokester to where like now he's hard and more serious and taking more of a serious like approach to his training and his mission. And so yeah, I enjoyed The Last Ronin, and I kind of had similar expectations moving forward with a storyline continuation, but we'll get into that a little later. But yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah. So I mean, like we talked about the last Ronin the last years as well. It's like and you know what, those lost years just really sucked for Michelangelo. That's the whole point of the story right there. And I don't know. It's like I just kind of felt that it was I get that like the guy like suffered a lot like in the time like that like seeing his family his friends and family die at the hands of the Foot Clan, but then just pile even like more bad stuff on him in the intervening years. It just didn't work for me. I mean, there's a point where you just kind of like like where it just piles on so much stuff that you just kind of like like stop caring after a while, and you just kind of think, oh well, it's like I know how this is gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna be like like the most like the worst kind of thing that's gonna happen, like Michelangelo here. Oh, I was right. That's kind of how I felt about the main story for the Lost Years. But one thing I did like about that collection was that it included like a one shot called The Lost Day, which basically follows up on the new turtles that were introduced at the very end of the Last Ronin. We'll come back to them in a minute, and basically like them going around like like um the New York of like about I think it's like 12, 13 years after the end of the Last Ronin, and them following Grandma April around as we get introduced to the new factions and other characters. It's like that are around there, and this was like a nice this is a nice fun like little hangout thing, hangout little like a storyline, and I really enjoyed it. Like there wasn't really any like bad stuff that was happening. It was just hey we're just going around getting to know these people, laying out the world and all. It's like just there's some solid world building here, and also a lot of cast introductions that upon after rereading it, tie directly into like part two. So they were clearly setting things up here. But um the Lost Day is like really the highlight of all these things. I just kind of wish I didn't have to buy like one big collection in order to read it. Yeah. But this is all like a long winding way to finally get to the Last Ronin 2, which I admit I was not planning on doing this. But then, during Amazon's you I think it's like Prime Days, they were doing one of their buy two get one free sales. And so I found so I like to group my things by, hey, just finding things that are like in the same price range. So I had gotten like Superman, the Last Days of Lex Luthor. I had gotten this graphic novel by the artist of Black Cloak called Meat Eaters, and I needed something in a similar price range in order to qualify for the discount. And I could not really find anything that I was immediately interested in, but there was the Last Ronin 2, and so I thought, okay, well, it's not following the even though it's just gonna be a different kind of story than the first one. Gonna be like a new cast and all. So all right, let me go ahead and go ahead and pick it up, and like I'll get the discount that way, and hey, maybe we'll get a podcast out of it. I mean, John and Myron like the first two, so I'll see. I'll run this by them. Get see what they think, and so again, here we are, and well, Myron, sorry about that.
So, couple things, and no apologies here. This is something that we grew up with turtles. This is something that I wanted to check out, and yeah, we'll have a discussion about that. But first, some things first. Full disclaimer: I've had some beers prior to this recording to help fuel my old man yelling at clouds, get off my lawn rant. So that way, maybe I'll be a little bit more comical. Second, kind of touching on the lost years a little bit, like kind of what you said. I think that's what I found a little bit more compelling about that story, just kind of seeing the psychological damage that Michelangelo has gone through since the loss of his brothers. And it's like, if you really think about it, it's like these guys have been together like all their lives. And like no one has been on their like own like that for a long period of time. And so like the person to have to bear that weight and to handle that is Michelangelo. Like you got to wonder like what if it was Donatello? Like what if it was Leonardo? What if it was Raphael? Like based off their characters and their personalities, like you can kind of imagine like how how they might have dealt with it. But Michelangelo kind of being like, at least from my understanding, he's like the youngest, like the runt of the crew. It's like the little brother losing his dad and his big brothers, or it's like the little kid that was like clinging to his family the whole time, now taken away from him. Is like, what does he do? And I felt that was kind of like compelling about like not only the Last Ronin storyline, but then like the Lost Years, where we got a little bit deeper insight to what Michelangelo had to go through to lead up to his final battle with the Foot Clan. And so, like going into the Last Ronin 2, I mean, I don't know what I expected, but this isn't what I wanted.
Yeah, it's like the short version is that I didn't like this either, and I think that Eastman and co-writer Tom Waltz, I mean, like the way they ended this was just kind of like, oh, god damn it, you guys. So, but basically, it's like I just want to say that yeah, what get to the fact that we didn't like it because we're going to go and spoil the hell out of it because we're going to because like in order to talk about like the ending and all the things it gets wrong, but in terms of like starting like how this thing starts, it's 15 years after the events of the Last Ronin, and New York is, kind of mostly recovered. It's like it's not quite like the future metropolis that we saw like in the original series. It's kind of like gotten back towards something that's kind of more like our present day, but there's flying police cars now. It looks like, and even though it's like April and it's like April and her daughter Casey like are still running a resistance. It's a lot more ragtag, and even though there's like like a functioning government and actual police, apparently they still need like this resistance around in order to keep things running. Because we're also told that this is also everything's falling apart around them as well. Like they're overworked. It's like like they don't have enough resources. Oh, and also the gangs are still just roving around and just making life hell for everyone. But they're fighting the good fight and all. Even though it's like, man, it's like it just kind of seems that like things just got kind of gone to shit. It's like almost like not I mean not quite as and sure you don't have like the foot running everything, or do they? But it just kind of feels like hey, it's like things are bad and they're only going to get worse. But there are turtles here because at the end of like the last Ronin, we saw that there were four new turtles that were introduced that had also been they're also been exposed to the same mutagen along with Michelangelo's DNA, and these four turtles are Uno, Odin, Yi, and Moja, and they've been training in secret to like just be proper ninjas like their forebearers were, especially Michelangelo. But they've also been keeping secret because hey, world's not ready for Ninja Turtles after everything that went down back in the day. So, but then once Casey it's Casey Jones, or sorry, it's Casey Jones's daughter. So when I say like Casey, like that's who I'm talking about here. So she like when she finds out that like her one of like the resistance bases is under attack and like everyone is just like at their limit. Well, it's time to get the kids in the game, and turns out they're really good at it, except for one part at the end where some dude's about to smack Odin with a gigantic hammer, and then Odin goes turns completely to stone, like in order to and survives it. But what the hell happened? Because that's basically the like the thrust of it here. Because it turns out like not only are these like like mutant turtles in the sense that we're all familiar with, turns out they may have their own individual powers as well. Because we also find out that it's like that Yi has electrical powers, and they all have their own like version of telepathy as well. But at the same time, though, like the question is whether or not this is going to be enough to like stand against like the encroaching chaos like of the like that's embracing the city like for its gangs, and also this like vaguely well evil British dude Carteron, like the Chevalier. It's like who like is masterminding things in the shadows because he's got the police and the mayor's office in his pocket. And well, it's like unfortunately, it's like the if you're hoping that the last Ronin 2 was gonna like have a more inspiring villain, this main villain this time around, well, you were wrong because this guy's actually, I think he might be even more personality free than Ur- than Hiroto, because at least Hiroto had all of his clan's history, like, to influence him. Chevalier is just, like, evil British dude, and it's just kind of like, eh. But also, like, the story just kind of like, goes out as basically as you'd expect. Like, hey, like, there's like the city is like slowly going to hell. It's like there's an attack on the kids, like on the turtles and the O'Neills, like hiding place, and they're forced to decamp. Like, a nod is given to the original series about how, like, the foot it's like the Foot Clan did this to them back in the day, and I'm only reminded about how much better, like, that story was. And well, I'm going, like, way far into the story here. Myron, it's like, what are your thoughts on everything so far?
I don't like these turtles.
Yep,
I I don't like these turtles. Like, and it's a fine line between don't like and hate. I feel like these turtles are like the GoBots to like the original Turtles Transformers. You know what I mean? Like they're just
that's
bootleg.
harsh, man.
Yeah, they're bootleg turtles. Um, I feel like Uno is like he's like a little bit too hardcore, like trying to be like a Raphael smartass, but he's just a super douche, yet has that Leonardo look, yet kind of like lean quality. I do like Odin, but he's that kind of like typical like uh George from of Mice and Men. You just kind of like that lumbering oaf, but he's strong. Um, you
He's
know,
doofy, but he's fun.
yeah, you have like who is it Yi who's more of like the Donatello, more of the
Yeah,
you
I think
know
she's the one who's, like, always into, like, the science and, like, looking up, like, hey, did Odin, did you have a stroke? It's like, that were you did you have some tingling because you may have had a stroke before before this happened.
yeah, so she's more like the more intellectual one, and then Moja I feel is like I get the vibe that she has more of like the leadership qualities, yet she's not like the leader or like like kind of like emphasizes that. Aside from like complaining about these turtles, it's just like you know
Oh, Myron, you there?
follow up to Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, and it's like, dude, like, nobody asked for this, I don't want this, like, but I ended up liking it. It's a great series, and I enjoyed that storyline. I felt like with this, it's like this is the Turtles Batman Beyond, but it sucks. It reminded me of like the early 2000s Ninja Turtles cartoon series where it was a little bit darker and grittier, but then later on in the series, they went to the future with Casey and April's son Cody Jones. Like, and it was just like unnecessarily weird to where like this isn't what I wanted out of my Ninja Turtle series. Like the original series just kind of had this straight to the point where it was like the Hamato clan and the turtles who were like trained under Hamato Yoshi, like learning that style of martial arts versus this 1,000 year blood war between the Foot Clan, and it's like kind of just basic to the point. Loved that struggle, and then I felt like we got that full culmination with the Last Ronin, and it's like, oh, it's laid to bed. Oh, nice ending. And then this is kind of like dragging it along more than what I think it should be or want. Because then it's like, oh, dude, this is still going on. Like, like I didn't want this. I didn't care for it. I felt like The Last Ronin should be it. And another thing, reading this book, like I like the artwork. Like the artwork is good. I hated the paneling and like the way like as you read it, it flowed. Like because there's times too where I was like kind of I guess reading more like a traditional comic book, and it's like like oh wait no I'm supposed to continue here, or like oh wait no like this like the words are supposed to be flowing this way. I felt it was just like all over the place, and I didn't really care for the flow as I was reading it. And then I hate, like you said, with Cateron or Catertron, whatever his name is, like weak villain, weak sauce villain, weak with the purple dragons and the what were those medieval folks?
The Chevaliers.
The Chevaliers. Thank you. Yeah, it's just like I don't know, like are you telling me like after everything that has been done to this city, like like everything that the turtles and Michelangelo did to bring down the foot, it's like yeah, there's this power vacuum where like oh the gangs are gonna take over New York, blah blah blah. It's just I don't know, it just seemed like it just seemed like a very weak storyline, very cliche. I wasn't into it yet, for the sakes of our discussion. Yeah, it's like, oh, just power through it, bro. Just get through it.
Yeah, it's like I mean, I'm with you there on the turtles and like on these new turtles, but and I think that the problem is that they don't have as much personality as like the other ones do. It's like
Agreed.
it's very hard to like like say like like which like it's hard for me to like remember which one was which because like I mean you don't have like the easily defined like personality types. I mean like the original ones like they're in the song. It's
Mhm.
like and then you've got their weapons as well. It's like but these ones, like, I just had to like, like mentally remind myself, okay, so the white angsty one is it's like is Uno. Odin is like the big doofy one. Okay, Yi, she's the one with the like with the electricity powers and who's kind of smart.
And she has
And
like yellow kind of yellow splotches on her skin.
yeah, and Moja is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like and that's like a big problem like when you're like, following up on like it's like some of like the most iconic like comics book characters like it's like of like of all time art arguably. But
Yeah.
yeah, and where's I going? Oh yeah, but I think that's but you also make a point like with like villains and like how you thought like how everything was put between the cleanses put to bed in the last Ronin. And it's like, yeah, that was really meant to be like, like the last Ninja Turtle story, but it was also hugely successful to the point where its hardcover collection is still makes the bestseller lists, like to the like on a regular basis to this day. So when that happens, like sequel is inevitable, man. But geez, it's just rehashing like everything we've seen before. Like there is no like new purpose to like this conflict, because spoilers, everyone, the Foot Clan is also behind it all again.
Yep.
Womp
Yep.
womp. Yeah, and one other and also to get into the issue that really like got got me with this miniseries that by the when I just get into like the final issue, I was kind of felt that hey, wait a second, there's a lot going on here, almost too much it feels like to wrap things up like in one final issue because well the final issue has like a lot of stuff going on because not only is there like a big attack on the turtles like new like hideout in on Teddy Roosevelt Island, but well the Foot Clan make themselves known. April dies like trying to save her family from like the leader of the Purple Dragons, and also Clan Hamato makes its dramatic return as well. Oh, and it turns out that the guy that Casey's been dating, Lieutenant Jiro, like in the NYPD, well, he's the brother of the current. It's like of the current leader of the Foot Clan. So and that's where the story ends
Yeah.
with that
It's
with what's up.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that I think that right there just kind of like not broke me, but I was just like, "Oh my goodness, dude, like really?" And it's like, yeah, like I feel like I felt like that revelation kind of cheapened like Hiroto's like role or even involvement like in his storyline because it's like oh like this was the guy who was trying to carry out his grandfather's legacy and he was almost there but then brought down by that clan and so like or when I say clan I'm talking like Michelangelo Hamato clan and like end of that war, end of the beef, they were successful. But then by them continuing it, it just feels like, oh, dude, now this again. You got some half-ass turtles now trying to take on like a half-ass Roku clan. It's like, yeah, I'm not.
Oh, Myron, you cut out there for a second.
I'm
Oh,
sorry, I cut out. Did I break up a little bit over my rant?
oh yeah, it's like it was just like complete silence, like for like the last 30 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, like I was just saying like I felt like the revelation of the Oroku twins at the end, Casey Marie Jones's boyfriend kind of cheapened Hiroto's like, part of this whole war, this whole storyline, and I didn't care for it, and I'm not in for the continuation of this storyline.
Yeah, but also it's like it for me. It's like I'm just like really like annoyed by the fact that this isn't even a complete story. This is basically the Last Ronin 2 Part 1. It's like it doesn't there's no like sense of closure. It's just basically like the story just stops at the end. Like they're meant to be like a 10 issue series. Like it's assume that's what we're going to get because God knows, like hey, that'll allow them to sell like a whole other collection and miniseries as well. But just the fact that it's like this is that even though like you kind of feel like this, there are some like Empire Strikes Back vibes here in the sense that hey, things are getting bad for our heroes. It's like it's not even in the same level. I mean, like that was a complete story. It's like on its own terms, the clear beginning, middle, and end. This one has like a beginning and a middle, and if you want that end, then you're gonna have to pay set aside like some $30 in like 2 or 3 years, like for them to like finally get around to like I'm put or sorry, like 35 or $40, like in order to find out what's gonna happen next. But no, it's like after everything up to that point, all that ending ensured was just that this is going to be the very last time you're going to hear us talk about The Last Ronin on this podcast. It's like, I'm done. This is going straight to the to sell pile because it's like if I do read like Ninja Turtles, it's going to be like like more what's been going on with like the current ongoing series from Jason Aaron and now Jean Luen Yang, as well as like other stuff that's gifted to me like the Black, White, and Green and anthology, which was cute. So, but yeah, it's like this one, like in a sense, like I'm kind of glad it's this bad that it's not like a mixed bag or like something that has potential. No, it's terrible, and I'm glad it is because I can just like stop reading it without any like without the feeling I'm going to miss out on anything by just not following up on what's coming next.
Yeah, and so with that, I don't I don't mean to sound like a boomer here or just like totally crap on this totally, but let's face it, like Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, like they're staple names. Like I just spat their names off real quick like a nursery rhyme. Like those those are our turtles and those are who we connect with because I feel like you hit the nail on the head earlier when you said that like we don't really know their personalities too well, and it's hard to connect with those characters, right? Like we connected with, the OG Turtles, for like close to 40 years now. But I mean, even from the get go, like you said, if you hadn't read the comics first and you were exposed to the cartoon first, you know their names and their personalities based off the theme song. And so with these turtles, like I felt like, yeah, they were shoved in here. Like it would have been maybe a little bit more compelling if like Michelangelo had actually lived and taught these turtles himself. I don't know. But yeah, with the characters, couldn't really connect with them. And even Casey Marie couldn't even really connect with her. Like the only tie that we had, like as far as like a original connection was April. And even with her current character, like being a scientist the way she is, it's like, I don't know. Like I not that I don't believe it. I just like I just don't know how he got there with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we saw some history and like, and flashbacks of like how she, evolved as a character and became more of the resistance, like, like technical expert. But yeah, like this gritty version of April, like it's just a bootleg Sarah Connor to me. I just not feeling this continuation. And as I said, I kind of hate being the old man in the clouds. Like now, it has to be my turtles, and like it sucks because it's not my turtles. I think this could have been somewhat compelling. Yet it could have been somewhat compelling had it not like rush to ride the coattails of the Last Ronin success, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, just give us like a complete story, like in one go, guys. I mean, don't like force us, buy the next one just to see if like it'll all pay off. And it's like I will say that like it does have some good art. I mean, like the
Yeah.
Scorza brothers are solid artists, and like it's always nice to see Ben Bishop here, and he does turn in like a nice dream sequence with Yi when she like her worries about being a monster, like turn to nightmare. That's probably like the most memorable part of the whole volume for me, just because it's like so out there, and he does a great like April suddenly turns into this like creepy skeletal like demon figure. It's like over the course of it, the but that's about it, man. It's like I'm not going to buy the follow up just based on that. If I want more from Ben Bishop, well, I've got like the autobiographical series about Kevin Eastman's life that he's currently drawing blood. So I'll go read that instead. You can expect to see my thoughts on that when the rest of it is eventually collected. It's like sometime next year. So, but even then, yeah, I thought Eastman writing a fictionalized version of his own life was not perfect, but still more interesting than what we got here.
Yeah, I know I'll be trying to find someone to donate this book to.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's like we got a book off. It's like near me now, and hey, I know that
Really?
yeah, like, where you live, like there's like a book off in the area as well. Like at least might be a bit of a drive, but like I've been down that way before. So
No, I know exactly where Book Off in Riverside is like the closest one to me, and so that's where I'll be going. But I've sold a lot of collectibles there. In fact, if you go to Book Off now, you'll probably see my 2013 Metroplex Comic Con edition. But yeah, I would probably like look through a collection of things to like take up to Book Off, me, get some cash, and maybe get something else.
yeah, and well, again, Myron, thanks for like doing this. It's like I mean, it's like I'm sorry sorry this wasn't like as good as the previous ones, but I still appreciate you coming on and like sharing your thoughts on this.
Of course, I've been holding this bullet in for like a couple weeks now. So yeah, but like every time I look at it, I was like, But I appreciate being invited on to come talk to this and rant with somebody. But hey, they all can't be winners, and so hopefully we'll get another volume of No One Left to Fight because that's been an enjoyable read and conversation we've had in the past. So
Oh man, I'd love to read another volume of that, but I don't. That's probably not going to happen. Not because like it's like just because like like its writer is like has got his own image series, and the artist is now like doing a lot of stuff for DC these days. So maybe they'll come back and do another one, but I don't know. I wish I could give you an answer about that because like I'd still like to read another one of that too.
that saddens me.
All right. So you know what you're going to be talking about next time.
Yeah, it's like, and if you don't know what it is, like then you may already be dead. So, because hey, I promised like last time it was either gonna be Last Ronin 2 or Fist of the North Star. Well, we did Last Ronin 2, so hey, it's gonna be Fist of the North Star.
All right. We'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Click.
Laters, everyone.
Have a good one, everyone.